This episode is brought to you by Lindsay Heller Esquire, voted one of the best local family law attorneys in New Jersey. Lindsay is a kind, compassionate attorney who can help you navigate divorce, mediation, child custody, and all other family law matters. To get in touch, email lheller@foxrothschild.com to start the conversation.
Did you know that there's a little dog in the frame store downstairs?
Yeah, he sits in the glass.
I thought he was fake. And then I just stood there staring at him and he moved. He scared the daylights out of me. And then I just stood there like tapping the I hope there's nobody in that store.
Oh yeah, there's people. I think it's their,
oh my God.
Their
so
dog,
somebody
obviously.
saw me.
What if the dog is the owner of the store? And could you imagine?
Really cute.
He is really cute.
And he looks really smart. He looked like he could run.
He's an art buyer, of course. He's
an
smart.
art buyer. He's very fancy.
All right, welcome back to another episode of That Westfield Podcast. Today, we're joined by Abby Polizois of Club Pilates. What's up, Abby?
Hi. Thanks so much for having me.
We're having a good time here in the office today, getting to know each other. You know, isn't it so fun just getting to know all the other business owners,
Absolutely.
like since you've been here the last few years?
Absolutely. I think Westfield is one of the few areas where there's like this community of business owners, which is so nice. I have other studios and other areas, and this is the only one where I really feel like there's this like really tight-knit community, which is new for me.
Yeah, it was definitely my favorite thing, owning the restaurant, and still obviously is, and doing this has been such a blessing getting to know people. But I've been in situations where like there's something I needed and I could just call like 5 different people and they would have my back and help me, and it's something special here for sure. So tell us more about Club Pilates. You told me that you took over in 2021, right?
Correct.
From the original owners. What made you guys want to do that?
So, you know what? It's actually funny. My father, who's in his 70s, started doing Pilates at a different Club Pilates, and one day just said, hey, let's take a look at this. This seems like he got a lot out of it. So he was getting more and more familiar with the sport, I guess you can call it. And I don't know if it's a sport. It's a physical activity, exercise.
We'll make it a sport.
We'll
I think you need to have like a games if it's a
like
sport, right?
British
like
people say like I
the Pilates
do
championships.
sport.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Sure.
I'll let it slide.
It's a good event idea. So he was like, look at this business. Let's see. My dad and I are business partners in a lot of things. My parents are immigrants. They're living like the true American dream.
Cool.
So
Love that.
yeah, so we looked at it. We got lucky with timing. There happened to be 2 owners who were selling their studios at the exact time we were looking to buy. So we took over in October of 2021.
Okay.
Got hit with kind of the tail end. I think it was Omicron at that point of
right. Which variation?
The different variants. I remember because it was October 2021. I got married in December of 2021, and my wedding got like eviscerated by Omicron. But it was still fun. We had a great time.
Still got married.
We got we're like 50 people down, but we still got married. It was great. But yeah, the business itself, I kind of took the opposite route. So I found the business first and then Pilates. And I've just really enjoyed looking into the lens of like what different types of people does Pilates apply to? Because it really spans, I've done Rumble, which all are great.
Right.
All of the different kickboxing and cycling and
different
TRX,
stations,
stations, all the high intensity workouts. And I've always thought in the back of my head, okay, at a certain point, like when I get into my 50s, 60s, 70s, I'm not going to be able to do this anymore. Or I'm afraid, even in my 30s, like, what if I bust a hip? What if I wait? Like there's days you wake up and you're like, this didn't hurt yesterday. And I don't think I did anything wrong. And it's happening alarmingly more often. For how old I feel
This is what
I
we were
am.
talking about before the show, guys. How you just wake up one day in your mid to late 30s and nothing works anymore.
Falls apart. And I was just noticing, okay, I've started doing Pilates, like little things, right? You like kind of accidentally roll your ankle off a thing, like on the sidewalk.
I do that a lot.
I do that a lot
surprisingly.
too. It doesn't hurt as much anymore because those muscles are stronger.
Right.
Like little things that you can injure yourself as you get older. Like there's like life just injures you. And I'm saying it and I'm laughing, but it's true, right? Like
everybody knows. Anyone watching this gets it.
You slip and you roll your ankle, or you like lift something heavy and your back gives out.
Or you're vacuuming.
Or you're vacuuming. Okay. Is this something you need to talk about? Did something happen?
Yeah, when I was vacuuming in the office the other day, I literally just like, I tripped over the thing and then like pulled a muscle in my leg. But that's my fault because I'm not stretching, I'm not strength training.
It's not entirely your fault. There's freak accidents. But yeah, you protect yourself. Like the stuff that inevitably happens will happen.
Right, like when you try to catch yourself from like falling or something like that.
And when you're young, you brush it off and like the next day you're like, oh, I'm a little sore, and then you recover. But as you get older, it does more damage. Right. So this is really complementary to that. But if you're a badass and you want to do, crazy hard Pilates, you can do that too. So it's kind of like accessible to all ages, to people who are physically at all stages. And that part to me brought it from like, okay, this is a good business model to, wow, this is like a nice passion project of I'm meeting all these different types of people. We're helping all these different types of people find their fitness journey because it's very different for everybody. And so it's been a really nice transition over the last few years.
That's really cool. So it's funny because you were showing me what Pilates actually is because I did not know. I feel like because it's that thing you think you know what it is, but you don't actually know what it is. And I'm like, oh, I could do that. I just like you said, like I thought it was something intimidating. It can be, but like it's not at its core. And for someone like me that has exercise intolerance, I like can't do a lot of like high intensity anything. Right. So I didn't realize you're just like laying on this thing and you're doing these movements, and it's just so basic again for that either stage of life if you're older or if you're 38 and you're me, like can't function sometimes. Like that's perfect. And there's so many things I feel like just from looking at it, it's kind of in the middle, right? There's stuff like I love Stretch Lab, right? What they do, where it's like they're stretching you out and it's very, very, very gentle. And sometimes that has a place, but then there's everything else. But this is literally right in the middle for most people. And like I said, it's either like at injury recovery, or if you're just like, I don't know, like you just had a baby and you're,
so okay. Like there's very few things you can do for your pelvic floor that are better than Pilates. So when you have a baby, so many things just get wrecked. Right. And a lot of that has to do, when people joke like, oh, like I had a baby and now like every time I laugh, I pee a little bit. I'm sorry, but it happens. That's because your pelvic floor gets weak. Right. And Pilates is a great way to fix that. So like we have prenatal classes. Cool. We have prenatal modifications. A lot of Pilates is done in like a reclined position. There's two schools of thought. There's people who are like, oh my God, Pilates is so intimidating. And then there's people who are like, oh, Pilates is too easy. I don't want to do it. I love that. In terms of like misconceptions. Right. And it's like both and neither, depending. You have to
we should put
modify it in a way that works for you. But yeah, there's prenatal options. There's options for people who are recovering from back surgery. That's how Pilates got started. Joe Pilates was like basically paralyzed.
Wow.
And he like modified his hospital bed.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So that's where the springs come from. He like was using the springs to move his muscles so that he would strengthen like this band, which protects your everything.
Yeah, he was like, screw the PT, I'm just going to figure this out.
I don't think we were talking about whether he's still alive. I'm 100% sure that before him, there wasn't like a huge PT culture. He's definitely old.
Guys, we need to find out.
He may still be alive. I should have looked up.
It's okay. We'll find out. Or we'll cut this out. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
Mr. Joe Pilates. So, okay, so you saw these two businesses for sale and you were like, my dad's into it, I'm into it, business model makes sense, like, let's go. So, how's it going in Westfield so far? Are you guys crushing it over here? It looks fun. There's always people in there when I walk by.
There's always people in there, so we've been really lucky. This is another kind of like accolade in the corner of Westfield, that it's an amazing place to do business. So, we started in 2021. We started in kind of the mid-range of like the Club Pilates rankings. Now we're in the top 10.
Wow. How many are there? So there's like 500.
There's about 1,000.
So you guys are top 10 of 1,000.
We're in the top 10 of 1,000, but we also, I mean, that's literally just thanks to Westfield, thanks to our members.
But you guys had to do something to get it there. Like as a business owner, what did you do?
So as a business owner, the only thing I did was prioritize my people. And this has been my strategy kind of with everything, and it's the only strategy that I found works consistently. We had awesome people. We made sure that they were happy. We continue to try to make sure that they're happy. And they put our best foot forward.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So we have great instructors. We have great front desk people. We have great managers, great salespeople. that explain much better than I can, you know, here's what this right fit is for you. And they make our schedule. They make sure that the class selection we have is interesting. They make sure that the people who are in the classes are in the right classes, right? You don't want somebody who's not strong enough to be in a level 2 class and potentially hurt themselves. So they really manage the day-to-day. It's a family business. It's my cousin, my father, my uncle, and I. But that's the only thing we did. And then we got exceptionally lucky because, first of all, our landlord's awesome. We've had a great relationship with her from the beginning. Cool. And her and I were speaking, and she's like, oh, you know, the store next door is vacating. Would you like the space? And we jumped on it. And we were like, yes, because all our classes were waitlisted, and our members were annoyed that they weren't getting into the classes they wanted. So we actually built out the space next door and added 12 additional reformers. So we doubled our capacity.
So 24 you have in there.
24. And we run classes from like 5:30 in the morning to 8 o'clock at night, nonstop.
So even in the afternoon, because a lot of people don't have places in the afternoon, and that's kind of like when I would go.
Right. Well, that's the thing is there's a good mix here, right? Because I also would go. I work for myself. Right. So, yeah, it would be nice to go in the middle of the day.
You hustle to like 12:01, and then you're like, I need to do something different for a little while.
Yeah, and I don't know when you wake up, but I read somewhere that Mark Zuckerberg wakes up at 8, and I was like, perfect, 8's good for me. Like, if a billionaire wakes up at 8 and he's okay, then I don't need to wake up at 6.
What do you mean? You don't have a morning routine that like drains the first 3 hours of your day?
No, I just can't get up early like a normal person. It's not something, I'm not a morning person. My husband.
Do you take vitamins?
I do take vitamins. Okay. I take so many vitamins.
Just not on the clock. Do you do the like you don't look at your phone first, you get sunlight in your eyes kind of thing? And
no, I don't do that. The first thing I do is look. Okay.
No. Yeah, okay. If you can in the morning before you look at your phone, go outside for like 2 minutes and just get sunlight in your eyes. It made a huge difference in my circadian rhythm, and I can like be up longer, and I'm not as groggy in the morning most days. I'm going to
try that. That sounds like something I could do.
You did not hear it here first. You probably heard it somewhere else, but I'll still take the credit for it.
I mean, I've never heard that before.
Changing your life here, Abby. Changing your life.
I've heard you don't look at your phone before you go to sleep, which I also do.
It's the same concept. Like when you look at it before bed, you're kind of pushing off your melatonin production, and so. Like last night, I had to be on the computer. Actually, all day yesterday, I was on the computer doing a website for somebody, and I could not fall asleep till like 1 o'clock because like I wasn't wearing the blue light glasses. I need to get those too. I don't know if you're into that, but sleep matters when you're an entrepreneur, man. You gotta have good sleep.
Sleep matters.
You're freaking busy,
no matter what. Yeah, sleep is like the key, most important thing in my life. I'm trying to fix.
So, do you do Pilates yourself?
I do.
Okay.
I do Pilates at home.
You have the machine at your house?
Yep. I have like a modified version of the machine because they're big and they're very expensive. But it's.
I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Yeah. You can get.
Can I fit one in here?
Yeah. You can just fit one in here.
I'm gonna make.
They have portable ones, and they have one that fold over. Okay. So you could like put it in a corner. It's definitely it's like something I need in my day now.
Yeah.
I tried a bunch of different variations of it. I tried solid core. I tried, going to class fitness. To me is just a really nice way to motivate myself, but sometimes it doesn't work with my schedule.
Right. So I think when we spoke last time, you were saying how like it's very much like a woman's thing, like you don't get too many guys, but like you said, you would love to have more men come in and try it. Like what are some benefits for men that are maybe if you want to get some of them on board to try?
I want to get all of them on board. But
do a male only Pilates class and we'll sponsor it and just get all the guys in there sweating.
Any time. This would be my dream. So have you ever seen, like recently this became a thing to like show football players doing like ballet dancing?
Oh yeah.
And
on the TikToks.
It's on the and it's like a little gimmicky, but it stems from the same thing. You need to be limber, you need to be light on your feet, and you need to be stretched and supported. So any guy in their 20s, 30s, maybe even 40s is most likely weightlifting, doing high intensity sports, and missing they're called small twitch muscle fibers. They're the stabilizing muscles. So they're not the big muscles that we're used to working out. They're not your abs. They're what supports your abs. They're not your like calf muscles. They're anything that's supporting those major muscles gets basically torn up and then rebuilt by Pilates.
That's really cool.
And it prevents injury. So if I was to talk to my husband, for example, I wouldn't say, hey, you should quit whatever your fitness routine is and just do Pilates. Say add Pilates once a week, add Pilates twice a week.
Right.
Make sure you're covering your bases on stretching and on accessing those secondary muscles.
Right. Makes sense.
Because otherwise, like maybe once every 6 months, I have a guy friend who's like, oh, I injured myself doing this. Like I have to take a few days off of working out or a few weeks off of working out. And we were talking about it. The older you get, the longer those spans go where you're in recovery. And then at some point, you may not be able to recover from it, right? Like you tear an ACL or you pull a muscle or you
lift up your
have
kids,
like a sciatica issue. Like you lift up your kids. Exactly. You do things in your everyday life that require you to move in these unexpected ways. And your basic, it's like your insurance policy.
Right. Ooh, that's a good sales pitch. I like that one.
Well, and the only reason that I know that guys aren't doing it is because there's, stigma. If you walk into a Pilates class, it's going to be 99% women right now. I would love to do an all-guy class. I would love to do one that was like a little more intense, a little more strength-focused. We do like a Father's Day event sometimes where it's like bring your dad. But honestly, the men that do it also recover from things faster. Again, when they do play high intensity sports, don't get injured as often.
That makes sense.
And like a lot of high profile guys, Joe Rogan, I think, on his podcast had Sebastian Maniscalco.
Oh yeah, I just listened to that. Oh yeah, I listened to that episode.
Talking about the fact that he does Pilates 5 times a week.
He's so funny. He's just hilarious. Like, I don't read anything. He's like I just like go in one ear and out the other. But he does Pilates, because he said he's had more like shoulder issues and like back issues. And
my dad has shoulder issues all his life from a shoulder injury, and like this was, you can modify around stuff, and then you kind of like build yourself back up. You build those muscles that keep like your shoulder in your socket.
Right. This is something, as our parents age too, right? We're in our 30s, and it's like we have to push them a little bit more to do these things. My dad literally texted me this morning and was like, I'm at the ER. I pulled my shoulder out. Yeah. And because he's cleaning bushes, pulling bushes out in the ER, which I told him not to do, and he doesn't listen. And I know everyone can kind of, can relate to experience, that. They've experienced this. It's like, because, they're stubborn and getting older, but if there's like ways to get them to do certain things, if Pilates is something that you can say, hey, here's a friggin' gift card, why don't you go try like 6 or 8 classes, that's a really good starting place. Because then if they like it and they make some friends, like it just builds them up, because otherwise, what do they do? Like most of them are active, but like they walk and they do like little stuff, but
they do like the manly thing. I mean, men, women, whatever. Yeah. If you're also self-conscious, you don't want to be seen in public doing Pilates, whatever, take a private. We have private classes.
Nice. Do you like couples classes?
We have couples classes. Yeah? You can do it's called like a group private.
Small group,
like a semi-private.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, we do those for like, sometimes people want to have their birthday party there, which I think is so cute.
Ooh, maybe I'll do one there.
It's so fun. Up. We do like snacks, and it's not something that we do a lot, but every once in a while for like our members that really enjoy it.
No, it's nice.
But yeah, you can kind of, again, fit your lifestyle if you're self-conscious.
Yeah.
Take a private class, learn how to use a machine, make sure that you're not, like, no one's missing you doing anything.
We should come record me trying, because if I can do it, anybody can do it, okay?
Love that. If you, anytime that you want to come,
we'll record it.
We'll do like a little special
It'll be a lot of cursing, though. It'll be a lot of bleeping out.
As much as I would love that because it would be hilarious, I actually think you'll really like it.
Every time I have like a fitness person come on the show, I just always feel worse about myself that I'm like not doing more. And I'm like, I could try that. But this is probably the first one where I'm like, okay, I have no excuse. I could literally spit on your store from here. It's like, or your storefront. It's like right there. And it's, if I'm mostly laying on my back, like, why can't I do that? Like, because I'm that person who's intimidated by a lot of workout stuff, and I know most people around here are. Most people around here are very active, but but like even if you are active, and then you have an injury, sometimes you just lose that confidence or whatever. So,
100%.
All right, I think I'm gonna actually try that.
I love that.
You have to hold me to it though. If I don't come in the next 2 weeks, you gotta call me out.
Okay. Well, we have intros.
I'm gonna do the intro.
We have 5 intros a week, and they're free.
That's a lot. Okay, so tell me more about that. The first free class and
so the first class is free. If, like I said, there's different levels of Pilates people where somebody's like, oh, this is so intimidating. If that's you, come take a 30-minute intro. They're free. We run them 5 times a week.
Cool.
Mornings, evenings. Like, we try to make it convenient enough that somebody could fit it into their schedule. If you're like, no, I've done Pilates on the mat. I know what I'm doing. I'm strong. I've done like solid core, whatever. We'll put you into a level 1 class just so you can get the experience of a full length class. If you're already familiar with the machine, just kind of get a taste for what these types of classes are. The great thing about this is that there's so many classes. We run almost 20 classes a day.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
How do you fit? They're half hour?
Well, we have 2 studios, so we alternate.
Right.
So now we can do something like that. So basically, no matter what your schedule looks like, you can, it's hard when you go to a studio and, you know, there's like 3 classes a day and you have to kind of plan your schedule around this. You don't have to do that as much here.
Right.
We still end up getting full pretty quickly, but there's a class time that works usually for everybody.
Okay. I'm thinking, you know, because we just started having these like entrepreneur like events or whatever, these meetups, but maybe we'll do a workout so that you have a big space.
I wanted to do it in your space, or maybe at the brewery.
Yeah, we do some.
Yeah.
Do you like bring the machines?
Just no. Oh my God.
I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, we're gonna bring. It's literally like moving 12 beds into your probably a mat class. Those are so easy.
That'd be fun. Like drink beer and have a mat class.
Do a mat class. If we could bring puppies in, that would be
so
puppies and Pilates.
Puppies,
pints, Pilates. Done. I think we're gonna set a record here for like the most fun event of all time and most peas.
Pilates podcast. What was it? No, Pilates. Pilates, puppies.
It can be podcast. It can be podcast, puppies, Pilates, and pints.
I will live podcast.
Live podcast, the puppies, Pilates, and
how many more P's can we put in there? I think that's enough. We're going to need a giant flyer. I don't know. But that's all right. We're going to work on it with Maddie. Yeah, because I feel like, well, there's so many great health and wellness events coming up. I don't know if you've heard of like Self-Care Social.
I haven't.
Carmen, who owns Brassy Buddha, and Krista, who owns a Citizen Mobile Massage, they're doing this whole big thing on Quimby Street in July. And it's like all health and wellness vendors.
Amazing.
You should hit them up. You definitely connect with them because they're really cool.
See, this is why, again, like,
circle of trust, dude. Circle of nuts. Because everyone is so good-hearted here. Like, everyone genuinely cares and gives a shit and, like, wants to try. So that's what makes it really great. Yeah. Okay, so you guys have the 5 free classes a week, or the intro classes. And then, or if they're a little more skilled, they could do the level 1.
They could go into a level 1.
Level 2 is the top. That's it?
So there's level 1, there's level 1.5. And then there's level
1.5. Okay.
Don't ask me why...
Still Pilates
1, 2, 3, but that is how Club Pilates runs. 1 is going to be at least you take like 10 classes so that you get familiar with the machine. You start to kind of build up those muscles. You're not going to do any standing on the machine. You're not going to be doing much balance work at all.
Okay.
You're just going to be working up your confidence and working up your muscles. 1.5, you start to get a little more balance work, stabilizer muscles start working more. Maybe you're doing a little more standing. Maybe you're employing like it's called a Pilates chair, which I didn't show you what it looks like, but you're basically just doing more intense work. Level 2, you need instructor permission to go into.
Okay, serious.
Just because if you aren't quite strong enough, quite balanced enough to do certain moves, again, the last thing we want is for somebody to injure themselves.
Right, of course.
So it's just easier for us to say, okay, like let us take a look. And most instructors at this point, like we know all our members that come on a regular basis. If you're coming regularly to a 1.5, usually what ends up happening, an instructor will look at you and say, hey, I think you're ready for it too.
And then it's like do you get like a balloon or like some sort of moving up ceremony, like a bracelet? Like,
not a bad idea.
Listen, if I ever make it to a level 2, I want people to know that I'm in level 2.
Absolutely. Okay? Well, it's an accomplishment because first of all, you've probably taken like 50 or 60 classes.
Wow.
Which we do like milestone t-shirts, which I love.
Cool.
Anytime you hit a milestone. We have a couple members that have done 1,000 classes.
Wow, that's huge. In the 3 years they've been there, or they started before?
So the Club Pilates studio here opened in 2016.
Okay.
We inherited some members. We've had, people come and go, but
but that's a lot. That's even if they came all those years ago, it's still like 2 classes a week. 2 to 3.
Yes,
yeah. That's
definitely dedication. But, for some people it just becomes a way of life. Just like any, people have their thing that kind of gives them energy for the day.
I think I'm going to do it. I think, you promised to hold me accountable if I don't come in the next 2 weeks.
I have your number. I know where to find you.
I need to be more active.
Me and that dog downstairs are going to come in.
His name's probably like Winston or like...
It's probably, the 4th.
That's my cat's name. All right, everyone's going to start judging me now, but
Is your cat's name Winston the 4th?
No, it's Duchess Crabsworth the 4th. She's very regal looking. If you saw her, it would make sense. But anyway, I digress.
I trust you. Cats do be looking like heirs to something.
She's like long hair. She's beautiful. She actually had an injury this weekend. If there was cat Pilates, we would be putting her in it because she like pulled a muscle in her leg, getting attacked by another cat. She's okay, guys. It's okay.
Getting attacked is hard work. Oh my God.
But it's funny, like watching her like rehabilitate herself and walking, and it's just like her foot was like dragging now. So it's like we're all the same, right? We're all like, our bodies all want to heal, but like if you can do something to prevent it, or again, they're cats, like they're just magically like they're like rubber bands, but we are not. Yes, we are not like rubber bands. No. So she'll heal up, but like if I had that same injury, I would probably be sitting for like a month.
Yeah, but you don't want it would probably heal. You want it to heal correctly.
That is the secret sauce, right?
Animals will heal. I hope Dutchie
is her.
Dutchie, okay.
Yeah, my wife's going to be like, why'd you talk about the cat on the podcast? Duchess Crabsworth the Fourth.
Crabsworth.
It's a whole story, but obviously.
I remember that.
No, it's okay. We DC Quattro, that's her.
It's pretty badass.
Right, that's her football player name.
So formal British, and then just like rapper name.
This is what happens when you have kids and you have pets. Anywho, tell everyone where they can find you guys, the website, the Instagram, how they get in touch, sign up, all that good stuff.
So first of all, if you're in Westfield, you can find us literally, like you said, within spitting distance of here, on 225 East Broad Street. You can go on our website, www.clubpilates. Just look up Club Pilates Westfield.
Just Google it. Yeah.
Just Google it. Call us. We can schedule you for an intro or for a level 1. Come in, we'll schedule you. It's a really cute studio. We did a lot of work renovating it. If you want to come in and look at it, we'd love to have you. And yeah, everything's available online. We're doing, actually, if you want to meet us, we're actually doing, for the second summer in a row, we're doing 2 mat classes that are free to the public in the back of the Presbyterian Church, one on June 29th and one on July 20th. Cool. So those are totally free.
Nice.
You can bring your own mat, or we'll have mats for you, but it's a nice way to get to know kind of our staff and our people and get to know kind of the basics of Pilates. But again, it's not going to be the same as a reformer class.
Right.
So that's
church
really
on South Ave, the big.
Yes.
Okay, in the corner. South Ave and East Broad.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
So,
awesome. Well, this was fun. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. I'm gonna do it, guys. I'm gonna try the Pilates.
We will live stream.
I'm mortified, but I'm also excited. So, Abby, thank you so much. It was great getting to know you, and I look forward to seeing you around the community and doing some cool stuff.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye, guys.